Good. All right, hello everyone. It is April 12th, 2022. This is our April OSM community call, and thanks for everyone joining. Again, as a reminder, this call is governed by the CNCF Code of Conduct. If you're not familiar with those guidelines, please visit the repo and view the Code of Conduct file. You'll have all the information that you need to keep the environment safe and everyone respected. All right, so with that out of the way, let me go ahead and share some of the agenda, which is small, so I'm not even sure I'm going to share that. I think I'll start sharing my screen anyway, just because I am first up, and I'm going to show off some demos.
Exciting.
Yeah, so let me get that screen going. Hopefully, broadcasting now, moving far over.
Looks good.
Okay. All right, so a lot of great things are happening. We are due and set to release v.1.1.0 here shortly, hopefully this week. And we'll go over some of that. And today I'm actually going to show a couple of new features that are going to be involved in that demo. Give you a sneak peek, because Alan has joined the call. Thanks, Alan. And Alan has been hard at work showing off some of this performance stuff. So we'll kind of just walk through it, but this will be new documentation provided with the v.1.1 release. But with that, I'm going to show two demos, one of circuit breaking. Thanks, Shashank Ram. He's been hard at work on that. And then the other by Alan, who's on the call. And that is about the Cypher Suite configuration, which is awesome and can assist in more secure environments needing different cryptography. Oh, it's a tongue twister for me, which is cool because we do have customers, or we do have people that actually use FedRAMP and other type of things to communicate. So with that, let's go ahead. I will do the circuit breaking first. So let me go ahead and get this over here. It's a recorded demo. And so let me just back it up here. It's pretty quick. So what you see is I have OSM obviously already deployed and everything's running. What we're going to do is we also have a HTTP bin app that's going to act as our server side. And then we also have this Folio app that's going to act as our client side. So what we're doing here is we're just kind of making sure both the client and the server side are up and running. And so we'll just look at those pods, deployments, service accounts, etc. So everything's up and running. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and query on the Folio pod, and then we're going to exec into it to issue some commands back to the server endpoint. And essentially, this is basically just going to make a bunch of calls to this server endpoint. And we're going to get some results back here pretty quick. And what you're seeing here is every call that went through, we got 100%. So again, there's no policy here to throttle any of those calls going to the server from the client. Next thing we're going to do is, so we have this new CRD that's part of this. It's called the upstream traffic setting. So this is part of the circuit breaking feature here. And we're going to go ahead and deploy that. What you'll see here is, I think I scroll down, and some of the config here, we're saying for the server endpoint, we only want a maximum of one connection. So again, this Folio this Folio client is going to do more than one connection. So we should see this automatically throttle back once this is deployed. So we got our traffic setting policy deployed. We'll go ahead and rerun the client to make some calls to the server endpoint. And what you see here is now we have a variety of both success and unsuccessful, and that's circuit breaking. And if we want to dive a little deeper into that, we can actually get the Envoy proxy settings here, or the stats, and you can see some of the stats that are available to you, such as pending overflow, remaining failures, totals, etc. So we're excited to have this. I know this has been one of the most requested features to date. And so you will see this and be able to utilize this in the B.1.1 release coming here shortly. I'll pause there if there's any questions from anyone on the call, if they just want to talk about that. If not, I'll go to the next demo, which will be the Cypher suite configuration. All right, and silence is okay. Okay, so now let's configure some Cypher for your Envoy sidecars. What you're seeing here is we got our infamous bookstore application. It's already running, so we went ahead and just ran coup control on all of those, configurations or objects, and that came back. And then we're just going to look here quickly at the CRDs. We're going to look at the mesh config, because now you can actually configure this with the mesh config. And what we're doing here is we're going to explain the sidecar spec in the mesh config and roll up. So you'll see now we have this Cypher suite setting. It's basically, it's an array of strings. So if you have multiple ciphers, you can actually pass them through, and Envoy will pick those up and use those to communicate inside the mesh. Next here, let's go ahead and get the query on the book buyer pod, so we can basically dump out some config in it. So we got our book buyer pod, and we're going to dump out the proxy config. I'll put that in a file here called Cypher before. And simply all we're going to do is we're just going to do a search for Cypher, and this will come back as nothing. There's no Cypher config currently right now. And so to fix that, next thing we're going to do is we're going to actually enable this in OSM, and you'll see that we're going to use this particular Cypher suite. And we'll go ahead and patch the mesh config with that. And again, this could be array, so if you have multiple, you just comma delimit, etc. And then, Alan, correct me if I'm wrong, we've updated this, so I no longer have to do restarts on my deployments, correct? I think this will automatically just update the sidecars on demand. Is that true?
Yes. So there is a configuration in mesh config that controls how long that the sidecar will resync. So after that is configured, we don't need to restart. But by default in the demo, it's not set. So that's why you need to set it here.
Yep. And so we have all those deployments restarted here. Since we got new deployments, let's go ahead and query get the new pod for the book buyer. And then now let's go ahead and dump the newer config from the proxy. And we'll put that in the Cypher after text. And then with them, if we do a search on Cypher here, we now see that we have our Cypher suite configuration with the one specified Cypher. Crypto. Oh man, that's a tongue twister for me. And there we go. So again, we're happy to have this. We know, again, there's a lot of environments where this is going to be really applicable. This is, part of certain FIPS compliances, et cetera. And we look to hear back from the community on anything else concerning security environments around some of the encryption and transit. Okay. Last thing I'll show, and then we'll move on to the list, is we have been getting a lot of questions around, hey, how performant is OSM, compared to other meshes out in the market. And we've been hard at work here, probably last month or so, on doing a lot of testing against OSM, control plane and data plane, et cetera. And Alan has been really instrumental in this and has came up with kind of all the graphs that you're going to see here. Again, this will be published with the V.1.1.0 release. But once that gets published, take your time and go through this and look at some of the numbers. We feel really good about the numbers, and obviously we're always working to continue to keep OSM as performing as possible. But we really feel we're in line with pretty much most of the service meshes on the market. We're happy with these numbers right now. And again, they will only continue to get better as we continue to advance OSM. But just, I'll run through this. I won't spend too much time, but again, we have information around latency, your pods per RPS, resource consumption here with the Envoy sidecar, scalability of the control plane, memory usage, and then down again to the data plane. So again, the graphs look very normal to us. And again, we're okay with what we're seeing, and we have made tweaks to things that we thought we could make a little better. But again, this is always going to be continuously evolving. But when this gets published out, let us know with your feedback. And if you take us through your own testing, please create any issues or ping us on the Slack channels and let us know if you see any, I would say, major variances to what we have out here. But Alan, I think you've published everything as far as the whole test harness. So if someone really wants to just create a control to do this, they should easily be able to duplicate everything that we've done to arrive at these numbers. Is that correct?
Yes, we perform the test on Azure Kubernetes service. So if they perform on their separate Kubernetes cluster, the number maybe differ a little bit, but the process, we have an automated test suite for it.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah, and that's a good thing to point out there, Alan. There could be some variances on different types of hosted, Kubernetes services, et cetera. But overall, we believe that these numbers should be pretty much the same across the board. So thanks for pointing that out, because I know that's probably going to be the first question is, hey, I tested this on my kind cluster and I'm getting completely different numbers. All right. Okay, let's go back real quick. And
I actually have a question before we move away from testing. Does this relate at all to any of the conformance stuff that's been discussed in the upstream community, even in the SMI community? And if so, like, how do we see this testing fitting in with any kind of conformance testing across different meshes?
I'll take a stab at that, Alan. Please keep me honest. I don't know if we necessarily entered into this with conformance tests against other meshes. Alan, you got anything else to add to that?
Me neither. I don't think this is related to that.
Yeah. That's a good thought there, Bridget. I mean, maybe we can hop on an SMI call here and understand that a little more, and then
yeah, I just want to make sure if we have the ability to surface a lot of good info that we're making sure that can be radiated out in any kind of measures the wider community is using. Yeah,
no, that's a good point. So let's take that as a to-do and see if we can close the loop on that. Thank you for that. All right. I think what we're going to go to now is you have a quick link, so I'm going to be lazy. I was going to go the long way. Let's go ahead and just open up E.1.1.0 RC. I think we made a decision. We won't be releasing RC. I think we're going to go right to GA of Z.1.1.0. I believe that's the case, if I'm not mistaken. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. What
do we mean by releasing RC? I mean, because it's out there on GitHub. I mean, you're looking at it. It's a pre-release. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, this is a pre-release.
Okay.
I guess I was off when I said that. Yeah, so this is out there. Yeah, there's no additional RCs coming.
Oh, you're saying that we don't need to do an additional iteration on the RC.
Yeah.
That we're ready to go to V1.1.0. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, I understand now. Thank you.
Sorry for that confusion there. Notable changes, again, circuit breaking, and that was part of the demo that I showed you, or showed everyone. And then we got some breaking changes here. So please be aware of some of these breaking changes around some of the backward compatibility here. The OSM proxy response since test count and the send error count metrics are now labeled with proxy certificates, common name, XDS type. So be mindful of that if you are utilizing those metrics. And then we have some deprecation notes here. So the following have been deprecated and cannot be used. So the injector cycle count, injector request time, and the emission webhook response total, as well as the HTTP response duration, those are no longer available to you. So yeah, this is already out there. So feel free to look at this in the change log, see if anything is interesting. If you got any questions about it, again, feel free to contact us on Slack or create an issue if something is bothering you. I think that is all we have. What we can do is we can kind of, I'm sorry.
I have a quick question about the breaking changes.
All right.
How will the experience go for someone who tries to upgrade an existing cluster? Like, are they going to see errors, or are things going to fail silently? Or is there some sort of conversion process they should run on their cluster? Like, what does it look like so that they don't get bit by the breaking changes?
Yeah, I think it's only if you are actually utilizing these metrics in their
Okay.
prior name that you're not going to see them anymore. So that's going to be the breaking change. So if you had something like a CADA project, you had something wired up that was actually looking at these metrics, and then you upgrade to this and you're saying, hey, I don't see any data flowing in, that's where you would be affected. But as far as normal control plane, data plane operations, there should be absolutely no issues there.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, good.
All right, so let's look into the future. So we got our v.1.1.0, and again, we're going to close the loop on this and have that released. I'd like to get some feedback from the community beyond the maintainers call. So this is what we have lined up for the v.1.2 release. And it's a pretty long list here. I won't go through all of it. We think there's some key issues here that we're going to be tackling here for the next milestone. But I'd really like the community to provide some feedback either through the issues or through the Slack channel, so we can get just stronger signal on things that people think we should really accelerate and get into the project. So if you have some time, go ahead and go through the v.1.2 milestone and see if there's things that may be missing that you think are super critical. Again, as discussed in the last call, we're on a quarterly cadence for this. And so it's going to be about 3 months. And if you feel like, again, there's something that is more important or higher priority and it should go in, let us know and we can have that discussion.
Hi Phil, I have one question regarding the production readiness of OSM. So in this, currently it is not production ready, so nobody is using in production right now. So I want to know
well, let me clarify that. Now, yeah, let's tackle that first. So OSM, when we reach GA state, we deem this mesh as being production ready. So if you feel any different, let's talk about that. But no, this is production grade at this point.
Okay. Actually, I was looking at the GitHub README. So it says like it is still under active development and not production ready. So that's why.
So we might just need to update one of the markdowns if that's still lingering out there. So let's I think Bridget will capture that, and yeah, let's go ahead and get that scrubbed. But yeah, since we were v.0.11.0, we deemed the project as production ready. but that was our GA version.
Okay. Thanks. And one more request from my side. Actually, I have been contributing to in OSM for around like, quite some time, and I need some mentoring kind of thing to like I want to step ahead in the contribution ladder. So I have
Yeah.
picked some issues and I have worked on it, but still I need some guidance from the current maintainers, like how to level up in the role kind of way. So
No,
who can I
that's
reach?
great.
So actually, I want to contribute more in this person. That's why. So
No, that's great. That's awesome to hear that, Mudet. And for those that don't know, yeah, Mudet mentioned the contribution ladder. So we have it kind of spelled out how you can go from just kind of a basic user of the project all the way into a contributor. And that doesn't necessarily have to be a code contributor as well. You can be a contributor on the docs,
yeah,
etc.
I am currently a contributor, but I want to level up to maintainership. So it says like
Yeah,
the maintainers tried have this thing mentors some contributors for next achieving the
perfect.
next
Yeah.
role. So yeah, so how can like, is this any program or how that works? So I want to know that.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what's the best way. What's your thoughts, Bridget? Should he just create an issue and then we can find a mentor and work through that way? Not sure how we track
Yeah,
that.
I mean, I don't know if you need an issue for it, but I'm just looking at the description of what we wrote, and contributors are definitely reporting and sometimes resolving issues, occasionally submitting PRs. I mean, stuff that Mudit is doing, obviously.
Right.
And contributors are, doing a lot of things that are not necessarily maintaining. So a maintainer, it says in the description, are very established contributors who are responsible for the entire project, who are expected to be able to approve PRs against every area of the project. Obviously, that's
Right.
not some place that people jump instantly. So I think maybe a really good way to move forward towards that, tell us what you think, Mudit, but a really good way to move forward towards that could be putting in PRs or putting reviews on PRs that current maintainers are either reviewing your PRs or are giving you input on your PRs, or you're giving input on their PRs. You could run through and test some PRs that are looking for comment, because that's the sort of thing where you have to have been a contributor for at least 3 months. Well, cool. I mean, you've definitely been contributing for some time, but you have to also be able to do all the stuff on the responsibility list, which you're correct. It will require some direct working with the maintainers to get you there. But I'm very excited that you want to be there. So,
Yeah, and I think probably the biggest thing is, yeah, let's get you in touch with a mentor. And they can go through all those things that Bridget just mentioned there. I think that's going to be super critical.
Yeah, that will be very helpful for me actually. So get in touch with them.
Okay.
awesome.
Yeah, I think we can facilitate that. No worries. But that's exciting.
Thanks.
We are looking for many maintainers. So glad and thank you for all the participation you have been on the project. So yeah, we look forward to you finding the contributor ladder.
Thanks, Phil. Thanks, Bridget.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, I think we're at the end of the road on the list here. Thanks again, Bridget, for taking notes. Yeah, I think we just had a couple minutes.
Oh, since that next meeting is during KubeCon, we should probably mention the KubeCon office hour, right? Isn't there a virtual office hour?
There
Let me double
is,
check that.
and you caught me off guard. I don't have that information, but
Oh,
you're
I
right.
can
There
pull
will
it up.
be
I can pull
a
it up. Do you want to
OSM.
tell people about it while I pull it up?
Yeah, just real quick. So next KubeCon EU in Valencia, we are going to have some office hours for OSM. And so we're going to go ahead and get that published for you, and we'll broadcast that out. But it'll be great for the community to be able to talk to maintainers and the PMs. And again, just go through and answer any questions about the OSIN project. So we're looking forward to that. I myself will not be there physically. I believe Bridget will. But yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Sorry, computer not wanting to load really quickly.
Yeah, no worries.
Here we go. I'm just trying to click and, oh, here we go. Yeah, so the CNCF office hours are run on Bevy. I'll drop a link in the chat here and then I'll also put it in the notes. And that one is on Thursday, May 19th. So it will be after the next meeting, but in case people are planning their KubeCon involvement before the next meeting, just be aware that that's coming up.
Just want to go ahead and broadcast there. So yeah, and we're looking forward to that. So go ahead and RSVP. That should be fun. All right, I think that is it. As mentioned, the next call will be May the 10th. And that is actually during, so that is the week of KubeCon. No,
It's the week
sorry.
before
It's the week
KubeCon.
prior to KubeCon. Okay.
I will actually be out of town, so I will be on vacation. I will not be here at the May 10th call.
All right. You charge your batteries there. Okay. All right. Well, thanks everyone. I think that's all we have. Hopefully those demos were pretty exciting. Again, all of that's going to be available in the v.1.1.0 release here. That's going to be coming off of RC here pretty soon. And with that, we'll go ahead and end the call. Thank you all for joining. And again, we will see you next month, May the 10th. And be safe. Thanks, everyone. Have a good one.
Bye,
Thanks, bye.
thanks.
See you all.
Bye everyone.